And breathe out, lower. One more time. Breathe in, lift and roll. Breathe out and lower. Soften down the knees. Move into side bend, please. So drawing the hand up on one side, relaxing down on the other side. Maybe just reaching that lower arm towards the skirting boards. Morning, Alison.
Morning.
Last one. And then coming to the centre, gripping the pelvis, softening down the knees, moving through pelvic tilt. So focusing on opening out here in the lumbar spine and into the hips at the front. Nice and slow, increasing the range of movement as you go. Last one, and then pull up a little through the thighs, engage the abs, arms are down. Let's sway forward with the thumbs on top, keeping the heels on the floor for now, looking straight ahead. If everything feels okay, you can now lift the heels and take the arms that bit higher. If you're not ready for that yet, please don't worry. Somebody else coming in. I've confused everybody with the time change. Oh, it's Bev coming back. Hi, Bev. One last time, please. And come on down. Let's rotate. Lovely. Come back to feet fairly narrow. Neutral pelvis, knees soft. Switch on the glutes. Fingers to temples. Lift the rib cage up and come across to where the ceiling meets the wall. Up, inhale. Exhale, lengthen as you side bend. So don't cave into it. Keep lengthened through the torso. Squeeze the glutes to stabilize and support the lower back. You can do this with your arms down if you need to, guys. Give me 2 more. And last one. Come back to centre and relax. Good, little release there. Lovely. Bring your hands together behind your back and your feet shoulder width. Let's hip hinge first. Get your spine in neutral and maintain it, please. Soften down the knees. Hip hinge. So just lengthening out of the crown of the head, leading with the chest. Avoid poking the chin. Get that feeling of lengthening as you hinge through the hips. Now, as you start to go further, you should feel the hamstrings stretch. You're going to need to squeeze your glutes to bring you back up. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up, keeping the chest open at the front and the shoulder blades together at the back. If that feels okay, let the arms drop. Hip hinge and squash. Now, if you'd rather keep your hands together behind your back, that's fine. If you want to sit back into your heels and float your arms, go there. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. Guys, if you can hip hinge, squat and hold, little pulses for 3, 2, 1. Push through your thighs. Let's come onto the toes and balance. Come down, and you can either just do a single squat or a 3-count pulse. So now we're working at our own pace, please. Keep moving. Good. So it's a single squat or a 3-count pulse. It's a heel raise with a balance up onto the balls of the feet, pushing the big toe into the floor, stabilizing the spine. This can be your last one. Finishes with a heel raise. And relax. Good. Give those legs a shake. Maybe rotate if that feels good. And we'll do single standing balance next. So if your balance isn't very good, please go to the wall. Standing on my left leg, taking my right leg forward and lifting. Flexing and pointing. Think about bringing in your wrists there if you can to warm them up. Guys, your focus is on tightening the buttock on the left side. Rotate, please. So really pulling up, not poking the hip out. Circle the other way. And relax, change. Forward and lift on the left, tightening up everything on the right. Tummy in, flex and point. So warming up wrists and ankles, but stabilizing pelvis on the right side. Rotate. And go the other way. And relax, give everything a shaker. Let's grab our band. Let's go waiter. So band across the palms of your hands. Put your right foot in front of your left foot into tightrope if you can. Split the stance if you're a bit wobbly. Take your pelvis into neutral. Lift the rib cage. Breathe in. Breathe out, pull on that band, please. So drawing the scapulas together. Breathing out to pull and in to release. Think about your distribution of weight. Is it the same through the right and left foot, or has it started to move backwards or forwards? If all of that feels okay, rotate, extend, come on down and releasing. Guys, if you have shoulder pain, then you might want to take out that press. It might be too intense. Just focus on the rotation. Breathing out to press. Breathing in to come down. One more. Good. Relax. Shoulders shrug. Change your feet. Change your grip. So wide overhand grip. Pelvis in neutral. Keep the ribs down on this one. Up and over we go. Shoulder rotation. Drawing scapulas together. Maintaining neutral spine. Important on this one. Please don't go into back extension. Pelvis neutral, knees soft. So our last one. And relax. Give everything a good shake and get rid of your band. Okay, got 2 more exercises in standing. If you're happy standing on your hog, do. If you're not, don't. Just going to do some rotation through the spine and a balance. That still works well standing on the floor. So come the full width of your hog if you can. Bring your pelvis into neutral. If you're standing on the floor, have your feet a little bit wider. Thumbs in the breastbone, shoulders relaxed. Take a breath in. Breathe out, rotate to the right corner. Come center. Breathe out, rotate to the left corner. And come center. So if you're standing on the floor with wider feet, you're trying to keep your hips still. That might not be an option if you're standing on the hog. You might need to let your hips go with you in that narrower position. Push your arms forward and relax your shoulders. Come into bow and arrow if you can. Reaching forward, inhaling and exhaling to rotate. So slight nod of the chin, so you've got that lengthening through the back of the neck as you turn the head and open the chest. Brilliant. Keep going. So let's have one or two more. We want to finish on the left side. And relax. Pedal your feet, please. Brill. Bring your feet together if you are on the hog. If you're standing on the floor, then maybe just have your feet a little bit narrower than they were before. Toe slide, knee lift. And step down. So some days we are more wobbly than others. So if you want to come off your hog for single leg lift, please do. If all of that feels okay, lift the knee, take the arm to the side, turn the head. Keep this moving. So 2 more if we can. Finishing on the left leg. And then coming down. Good. So get rid of your hog now, please. And we are going to go roll down next. Let's just release the lower back before we do that. So either give me standing pelvic tilt again, or come on down to cat stretch on the thighs and just roll through flexion and extension. So it's a bigger stretch if you are in that forward fold position, but if your back doesn't like being there, pelvic tilt or even some circles through your hips is fine. Just get some movement through the lower half of the back. Last one. And then uncurl your spine. Roll your shoulders. Brill. Okay, give yourself some space to walk out if you're going to bring in downward dog. Otherwise, just focus on the rolling down and up. Arm extension, upper back extension if you can. Inhale, exhale, arms come down. Nod your chin and round your shoulders. Roll to your bottom rib and let your arms hang there. Take a breath in, breathe out, uncurl. So really important that we keep the spine curved, that we have segmental control. Extension of the spine and the rib cage if possible. Nodding, rounding and rolling. Got flexion of the upper back, mid back, maybe come down to the back of the waist. Quite a tight band there. Let the arms hang and just give them a sway or a circle. Really let your shoulders release. Keep your knees soft. Pull your belly button in, squeeze your glutes and uncurl. Brill, let's go again. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Nodding round and roll. Come to about shin height here and hold. Let the arms hang. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the glutes, head comes up last. So we're going to come to the floor for those that can. If you are happy, just rolling up and down your spine. If that's releasing your back, that's where I want you to be. The rest of you, please roll down, place your hands on the floor close to your feet. Drop your head and bend your knees. Just get a little bit of weight in your hands. Now you might need to roll up from there. That might be enough weight in the hands. If you want to improve that walk forward, get more weight into the hands, come into downward dog, and then stretch your shoulders and hamstrings. So if you're in downward dog, you need to hold it till you feel the calves release. You might want to pedal the feet. You can come forward into plank and that can be on your hands or your knees, and you can add 1 or 2 press-ups on your knees or your toes. So we are now all just working at our own pace, releasing our spine through flexion and extension, releasing our shoulders and hips with downward dog. So make sure you hold your downward dog for a couple of breaths and either press the heels down or pedal the feet. And then your plank and press up are for core strength. You might want to save your strength work till later. So we are going to do one more round, please. One more round of whichever of those works for you. So please take your time, and then when you've done your last one, finish in the standing position and come to the floor with your mat and your equipment. And so you're going to need to tip your screen so that I can see you on your mat. And you're going to want your weights, your chi ball, your band, your hog, cushion, whatever you need to use there. So we're going to come down to the floor with you, and then you're going to roll your spine through cat stretch. So just while everybody gets their bits together, all fours, pelvic tilt, rounding the spine from the bottom to the top. Hands are directly under shoulders, knees under hips. The arms and legs are not moving. Movement's coming from the spine. Elbows are soft. We've got some body weight into the arms. Taking the spine through full flexion and extension if we can there. Make the next one your last one. And then when you finish, sit back into shell stretch, please. Head on hands, and just breathe into the back of the rib cage. Bring your hands to the side of your knees, support your body weight. Uncurl your spine slowly from the bottom to the top, and then come forward onto all fours. So guys, we're going to do Superman, taking the arm to the side rather than the front. If you can do it kneeling on your hog, come onto your hog. If you'd rather just be flat on the mat, that's okay. So logo to the side, so the hog is rocking forwards and back, and knees are in the middle of the hog. Walking the hands forward, so we've got weight into the arms, tucking the toes under at the back. Taking a breath in to prepare, breathing out to take the arm to the side and the leg to the back. I'm going to do 4 on the right and 4 on the left. I'm going to hover and come down without touching the mat or the hog if possible. 4 on the right, 4 on the left. Think about your pelvic stability, your core engagement, keeping weight into the supporting arm, but keeping the elbow soft. 4 on the right and 4 on the left. As you move there, let's keep going. So head is in line with spine. Exhaling as we lift. Effort is on the way up. So 1 or 2 more sets for me, please. Finishing with 4 on the left arm, as we started with 4 on the right arm. So as many as you need to do to finish with 4 on the left. And then when you've finished, you can come off your hog if you're on your hog, and come into child's pose, shell stretch, or cat stretch, depending on what you need. You might need to do a couple of different stretches there to release your back, your shoulders, your wrists. Just one more breath there. And then bring your hands to the side of your knees, support your body weight, uncurl your spine. Coming down onto your bottom for a half roll back. So let's take the feet wide first and come forward and stretch the spine. So just breathe into the back of your rib cage there. And then uncurl your spine. So we do a set without the dumbbells to release the back, and then we'll add some weight for those that can. Ball can be touching or a little bit further away if there's no back pain. You can use a cushion if you like. Dig your heels in. Lengthen up through your spine onto your bum bones. Breathe in. Breathe out, scoop and roll, land on your ball. Just have a couple of those and check it's really where you need it, right in the centre, not off to one side. Does it need to come closer or move further away? If all of that's okay, shoulder extension, scoop around and roll, bow and arrow, nice, long, slow movement. Turning the head as well, opening the chest, rotating through the waist. So you need to scoop the pelvis first to switch the lower abdominals on. So abs are stronger than waist muscles. So abs first, waist second. Next one will be your last one. And then we'll come forward and wide and relax. Let's breathe into the back of the rib cage. Uncurl your spine. Good. Grab a dumbbell if that feels okay. If you're happy working without one, that's great. Dig your heels in. Pushing up, rolling. You can still just do that single rotation and come up if you like. Or you can do 2, 3 or 4. My ball's gone astray. Make sure your ball is really central to keep it even through the spine. It's got life of its own today. So none of this should be going into your back. So be aware when you rotate that you're not throwing your arms across. Your back won't like that. You want to turn the shoulders and the upper back, and that will transfer down into the waist. 1, 2, 3 or 4. Keeping the knees bent and the heels dug in. Breathing steadily the whole time. Guys, I'm going to do 2 more sets. So come with me, or have a rest if you've had enough, or if it's gone round into your back. When you've finished your last one, get rid of your weight, and you can either go feet wide, slump stretch, or cross legs and forward, fold, and breathe into the back of the ribs. So uncurling slowly, coming down onto your back. Now get some head support if you need it, cushion, block, ball, otherwise some of you will be happy flat on the mat. So coming down, bringing the knees in, drawing a circle with my pelvis. And the other way, lifting the buttocks as I go round if it doesn't hurt the back. And then popping 2 feet together on the floor for hip rolls, arms out to the side, rolling slowly from right to left. Arms are chest height, palms are facing the ceiling. If you can turn your head safely in the opposite direction, please do that. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. Finishing to the left side, please. Coming back to center, bringing knees in for single leg stretch. So we want to really imprint the spine and into your single leg stretch. Now this is obviously working the lower abdominals, but it's also stretching the hip. So important till we move into tabletop. Lift your head and shoulders up there. Make sure the spine is imprinted. And as you pull one leg in, you are stretching through the hip. As the other leg goes away, you are stretching into that hip flexor. So you can add rotation if it feels okay. Guys, if you're not good with your head up, you can put it down, or you can just take the weight of your head and shoulders in the center. Keep lifting from the breastbone. Breathing out as the leg extends. 8, 7, 6, excuse me, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Let's have a full body stretch. Slide the legs away, arms overhead. Come into extension through the spine. Lift the rib cage and take some breaths there. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting the rib cage flare. Bringing the arms over when you're ready. And bending the knees. Placing the feet flat. Guys, feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, arms out to the side. Open knee hip roll. So although we're rotating through the spine, the emphasis on here is dropping the knee into the center so that you get that stretch into the hip flexor. Breathing in to drop and out to lift. Come center. Brill. Can you take your chi ball under your sacrum? And that might mean that you take away anything that's under your head. So that flat triangle, the tailbone, right in the middle, level with the hips. Maybe put your fingertips on the floor or your fingertips on your hips. Lifting up and stabilizing the pelvis. Guys, we're no longer bringing the knees in, we are in tabletop. So the spine remains in neutral, knees are over hips. When you're ready, toe tap to the floor with a bent knee or single leg stretch away. And if all of that feels okay, you can take one or both hands off the floor. Watch as you reach to the ceiling that your shoulders don't round. Pin the shoulders down because that's where your stability will come from. And then scissor the arms and legs if that feels appropriate for you. If you're better keeping your arms still and focusing on the pelvis, that's fine. Draw down on the abdominals and watch your knees are only coming over your hips, please. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Guys, when you're ready, come on down and slide your legs away. Arms come overhead. We allow our back to come into a little bit of extension and we take some breaths there. If there's back pain, you can take your ball away. Otherwise, that should feel like quite a nice stretch through the hips. So take some breaths there. One more nice big deep breath. And then bring your arms over and bend your knees, please. Lift your bottom up And bring your knees back in, draw a circle with your pelvis. So your pelvis has just been in that fixed position and worked quite hard. So get some movement in it now, please. And then we're going to work through the chest next. So it will help to get something under your head for chest flies. I'm going to put my ball there. And then you can work the chest with the weights or the band. Up to you. So I'll show you with the weights. Options for your start position, feet on the floor, spine in neutral, or legs in tabletop, spine imprinted. Weights up over the chest. So I'm going to breathe in to open the arms, elbows are slightly off the floor, and breathe out to close, making sure they're over the chest. Guys, if there is shoulder pain or there is injury there, you can pull down from your elbows, make it shorter range. If you're working with your band, the emphasis is on pressing out to the side rather than down to the floor. They will go down to the floor anyway, but think about pressing out for resistance. When you're ready, you can add a single toe tap, a single leg stretch, or a double leg stretch. So breathing out to stretch. Lovely. Make sure your spine is imprinted. If your feet are off the floor, make sure those elbows never lock, whether you're working with the band or the weights. We've got 4 to go, if we're okay. And once you've done your final one, you can come down, get rid of your weights. Guys, try that big starfish stretch to the 4 corners of your mat when you've finished. So open your palms and stretch your fingers from gripping those weights, and push your heels away and pull your toes back. Take some breaths there. Bring the arms back first, followed by the legs. Let's release the back and the pelvis. Can you put your right ankle on your left knee? Get your right knee back and your arms to the side. Slowly hip rolling right and left, turning your head the opposite way if that feels good. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. Come on back to center and change legs, please. Open out the hip and roll slowly when you're ready. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. Keeping the chest open. So as big as you can comfortably make it. Feeling like a deep stretch but no joint pain. Once your left big toe has been to the right, please come back to center and put 2 feet on the floor. Guys, we're going to work tricep next. If you're happy doing it on your back, do it on your back. Your harder option is to come with me onto all fours and do it there. So, on your back or on all fours, with your weights or your band. So if you're on your back, you're going to do the same position as you did for chest, but we're doing tricep. If you're on your all fours, you're going hand on hip. We are pressing back and lifting up into the posterior chain, so we want to be higher than the body, not dropping the arm down. 4 on the right and 4 on the left. Any back or pelvic issues, maybe do it on your back or just don't lift the leg. Guys, whether you are on your back or all fours, the movement is coming from your elbow, not from your shoulder. Your shoulders are still. 4 on the right, 4 on the left. Again, you can do this with your band if you like, tucking your elbow in, getting resistance in your band, and breathing out as you push back, or breathing out as you push up if you're on your back. So let's keep this all moving. 4 right, 4 left. Whichever one you're doing, your spine is still, and you can include the opposite leg if everything feels okay. Ooh, nice click of my shoulder there. Monday morning click. So start to think about coming into your last set. Whether you are on your right or your left at this point, it's going to finish with 4 on the left. Left arm that is, left tricep. When you have finished on that arm, and there is no rush, finish the whole set, get rid of your weights, and then maybe release the wrists, the back and the shoulders, cat, shell, or child's pose. And just relax and breathe into the back of the rib cage. Bring your hands to the side of your knees, support your weight. Uncurl your spine slowly. So we're coming into rotation now, so if you're not on all fours already, please come on to all fours. All fours position, left leg out to the back, toes tucked under. We won't do this with resistance because we've just used the weights. Let's do it for flexibility. So nice long stretch through your right arm. You can be here if there's shoulder pain. Come on down and thread needle through the hole. So your primary goal here is to get rotation through the spine. Your secondary goal is to stabilise your pelvis. So keep your hips still as you move. And your third goal, if you can, is to add some strength into the left arm by doing a one-arm presser and getting your ear close to the mat. So breathing in to open and out to close. You can go fingertips to temples here, go for that shorter range movement if that's better for your shoulders. So ideally we want a big spiral the length of the spine. We want to turn the head and follow the hand so that we also get some mobility through the neck, but we don't want those hips to move if we can help it. Body weight in the arm. Last one on that side, please. And then we'll change when you're ready. So changing legs, got my right leg out to the back, my hips are stacked, so there's weight in my right arm. Left arm extends, or you can go fingers to the temples. Now you can just thread through without bending into that one arm press up. Still got a really good rotation through the spine. You can thread needle and one arm press up if you like. When your rotation is bigger, obviously you're adding strength into the supporting arm. You'll also be rotating lower down the back, so it's harder to stabilise your pelvis. So pull the tummy in, tighten up through the glutes, and try not to let that straight leg buckle at the knee. Try to keep it quite straight because that will help you stabilise. Two to go. Eyes following hand. Breathing in to open and out to thread through. Coming into your last one. And come on down and stretch. So maybe arms in front might feel good. Hands under the head. Hands to ankles. Maybe you want a cat stretch. Choice is yours. Take some breaths. Hands to the side of the knees. Support your weight. Uncurl your body. And sit down. So full roll back. Now for those that can. So our pelvis has just been in the fixed position. So now we want to get some movement in it. So think back to the half roll back that you did before, and we're going to build on that. If you think your lower back might not like that, keep your ball or your cushion behind you and just do a partial roll. So our feet are hip distance apart, our heels are dug in, legs can be straight if you're happy, you know what you're doing. Scoop and roll slowly down. That might be halfway or all the way. It might be with your band or without your band. So when we're coming up, we initiate the movement from the top of the spine, and when we're rolling down, we initiate the movement from the bottom of the spine. You might want to straighten your legs, you might want to work with your band or your dumbbell in your hands. So just make sure you've stretched and released the spine before you start to add any strength work into it. Your options are forward flexion if that feels good. And it might just be a partial forward flexion. You can hold halfway down if you want to add strength and rotate your shoulders with a dumbbell or a band. And then continuing down if that feels appropriate for you. You can keep your arms up high as you roll up. That's going to add strength and load to the exercise. Good. If you are doing forward flexion, watch it's not pulling too much on the lower back, particularly if you're holding a weight. Remember, you can do all of this with your knees bent. If your back is just feeling quite tight or weak today. So all the time, constantly breathing slow and steady, in through the nose and out through the mouth. There's effort on all of this really, so it doesn't matter how we're breathing as long as we're not breath holding. And then we'll make this next one the last one. So please take your time. Just going to finish in the seated position as that's where it started. And when you finish, you're going to get rid of your weight and either wide leg slump or cross leg forward fold. And just make sure your shoulders are rounded, your head is down, and you're breathing laterally into the back of the rib cage there, trying to almost stretch into the bra strap. Uncurl the spine. And then your legs can stay where they are, or they can stretch out in front if that's better. Hands are going to come behind for extension. So legs can be anywhere they feel okay. Transferring the weight back into my hands, squeezing my shoulder blades together, lifting my chest, poking my chin up carefully so as not to stress the neck, breathing in and breathing out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Transfer the weight into the hands, out of the hands, bring the knees in and come back down onto your back for me please, with a little bit of head support if you want it. Knees coming in and pelvis circling. If you'd rather hip roll, that's fine, just hip roll. So in this position now, can you put the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop? So stretching through the inner thigh. We are going to do a pelvic tilt here with the focus on the pelvic floor. Okay? If you're not comfortable with your legs in this position because you've got hip pain, you might need to do it with your feet flat on the floor. But can you draw your attention to your pelvic floor? So guys, your fire-in sequence is to take a breath in. As you breathe out, draw down on your belly button and pull up on your pelvic floor. Nothing else at this point. Inhale, let everything relax. Exhale, draw down on your belly button and up on your pelvic floor. Push your feet together, get a little bit of resistance. Everything relaxes, breathe in. Breathe out, pull down on the belly button, up on the pelvic floor, push the feet, and lastly, squeeze the glutes. And then relax. Good. So follow that sequence, please. Breathe in, do nothing. Breathe out, pull down on the belly button, up on the floor, push the feet, and squeeze the glutes at the end. Good, so just keep that moving for me. Guys, your options are to squeeze your glutes and lift them slightly off the floor, or just squeeze them and leave them down. So what I want you to think about with the pelvic floor is the bum muscles are much stronger. If you switch your bum muscles on first, your pelvic floor won't engage. So go abs, pelvic floor, feet, and bum last. When you squeeze the muscles in your bum, think about drawing your two bum bones together. That's where the pelvic floor attaches, on those two bum bones. So if all of that's feeling okay, you can start to think about lifting from the waist downwards. Okay, so not too high. And if it's starting to give you knee or hip pain, then go back to doing this with your feet on the floor. Drawing the bum bones together as you squeeze the glutes, but thinking about abdominals, pelvic floor, and feet first, glutes last. Good. Guys, let's draw our knees together now, and then take our feet and knees apart. We're going to go up into full shoulder bridge if we can. Nothing under your head, hands down by the side of your body. Initiate the same movement, belly button, pelvic floor, press through the feet, and then peel yourself off the mat. It's actually better if you don't over-engage the glutes on this, okay? So not squeezing the glutes as much as we did before, then rolling down your spine slowly. You will automatically get glute engagement, but don't squeeze them. Let your spine release. So it's a pelvic tilt. Recruit the pelvic floor, peel up the spine. You can let your arms float over your head. If you want to do that, maybe just fingers to the ceiling, if that's a bit stressful on the shoulder or the neck joint. And lastly, as you're rolling up that shoulder bridge, if you want to hold at the top and just squeeze the knees or pulse the pelvis, you can do. So you're getting that little bit of extra strength work and challenging the core at the top. If that's not for you, just keep rolling up and down your spine. Good. So you're going to make the next one your last one. So focusing on mobility and pelvic floor, only adding that strength work at the very end if that's appropriate for you. Just maybe 6 squeezes max. When you finished your last shoulder bridge, come down and stretch in any position that feels good to you. Might need to do a quick hamstring stretch, you might want to do a full body stretch, or you might just want to roll the hips. Maybe put something back under the head. Okay, we are going to do our clam lying on our back this time. So if you want your hog spiky side up under your pelvis, you want your tailbone on the top part of the hog, so your buttocks slightly to the front of the hog. And you may not want anything under your head. So when we lift the legs, we need to have the spine still in neutral. Obviously we'll have a gap under the back, but if it's pulling through your lower back, then your hog's possibly not in the correct position. So play about with this. Lift the legs to tabletop. Hands can be on the floor at the side of the hog or on the pelvis or the rib cage. Just start with single leg clamp from right leg to left leg with your big toes together. Now your focus is on the leg that's not moving. Have a look at it. It quite often wants to move. Isolate one leg whilst you move the other. Okay, same rules apply as before. Draw down on the belly button, up on the pelvic floor. You shouldn't feel like your bum is rocking from the right to left side of the hog, so you should get some feedback from the spiky bits. Guys, if everything feels okay, still rotate with your toes together, but you can then let the working leg drop away, but you're still looking at the leg that's not moving to check that it's stable. So we'll rotate from the hip first, then let the whole leg come away, just as we sometimes do when we're doing our side lying plank. So knees come together when you draw back up. So it's separate movements, toe comes back, knee comes back. So that might be a 2-breath move if you're going for the bigger move. If you can do this with your arms across your chest or your fingertips to the ceiling, then go there. You may even be able to take your opposite arm out to the side to help you to counterbalance and get a bigger range of movement. But the shoulders are pinned down to stabilize us. Ribs are not flaring. Really draw down on the deep abdominals and up on the pelvic floor. So we're going to go 1 or 2 more for those that can. I want you to finish by moving the left leg as we started with the right leg. When you've finished, if it feels comfortable to do full body stretch across your hog, please do. If it doesn't, take it away first. So bigger extension through the back and the hips. Rib cage lifts. And we breathe into the diaphragm. Can you bring your arms over, please? Can you draw your legs back one at a time? And then lift your bottom up and slide your hog away. Guys, let's just do our hip circle a bit differently. Just bring one leg and leave the other foot on the floor. Hand on the knee. Can you rotate that leg? Small circle. Doesn't matter which direction. And then small circle the other way. Put something back under your head if you need it. And then change legs, please. Foot on the knee. No, not foot on the knee. Hand on the knee. And draw a circle. Any direction is fine. We're going both ways. And change direction, please. Lovely. When you're ready, grab your band and take it around the sole of your right foot, please. Make sure part of it is across the ball of the foot. That's the best way to stop it rolling. And then pull your elbows down to the floor. Take the weight of the leg on the band. Draw it in. Extend your bottom leg away from you all the way or halfway. And then either just push the leg to the heel to the ceiling and hold, or you can point and flex that leg slowly. If you're able to increase the length, pull a little bit more on the band. Make sure the tailbone doesn't lift. Softening the back of the right knee. Can you sway or circle that leg? You might want to do both. So gradually increasing the range of movement as the leg moves, guys. It might feel good just to take it in the right hand to develop the stretch, or you might be able to move from right to left hand. So making the next one the last one. And then coming back to center and changing feet, please. So pushing the heel up lengthening the bottom leg, and then either holding or pointing and flexing, depending on what feels good there. Think about the shoulders being relaxed, and then you can sway or circle the leg, depending on what feels better. If you find anything particularly tight, rather than just moving slowly, hold on the tight spot. And you can go to single-handed stretch if that gives you better range of movement. Coming back to centre when you're ready, guys. Slipping your foot out of the band. Can you roll over onto your tummy for me? Let's just do a little back extension to finish. So come onto your tummy if you're okay there. If you're not okay on your tummy, then go onto all fours and do cat stretch. So hands to the side of the head, elbows to the floor. In this cactus position, if you like, or fork, nose is down on the mat. Take a breath in. Breathe out, lift your breastbone up by pressing through your forearms, but keep looking at the mat. Guys, I want you to really switch the muscles in your bum off. Take another breath in. If you're able to, press your hands down, lift your elbows up. Now your glutes will switch on a little bit as you come up higher, but try to relax them as much as possible. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop to the elbows and then to the floor. Let's try this one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out, lift the breastbone, keep looking at the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out, come up onto the hands. The arms don't have to straighten. Keep looking at the mat. If you're better on your elbows, stay on your elbows. Relax those glutes a little bit. Breathe in. Breathe out and slowly lower to the mat. Brilliant. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Push yourself up onto all fours and then come back into shell stretch with your arms extended. Your head is down. Can you walk your hands slowly to the right corner, please? Creep your fingers forward. Push your bottom backwards and breathe into the stretch. And then come through centre and over to the other side. Arms are extended. Press down, take some breaths. Come through centre. Let's come into downward dog if we can. Stretch the shoulders and the hamstrings. Guys, if you want to just put one foot in front of the other to come up, that's okay. Otherwise, walk towards your feet, bend your knees and unroll your spine. Your head will be the last thing to come up. And then step back for me, please. Stretch up and inhale. We've run out of music. Exhale, come across to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Come on down. Drop the arms. Let's shoulder roll. Just got the faint hum of the leaf blower outside. And then rotate for me, please. And give yourselves a clap. Come on in, folks.